like I was saying, Fight World, I believe Sergey Kovalev is getting a little bit more special training. They're probably bringing some specialists this time, you know what I'm saying, add some more techniques. They probably learned some things, Kovalev's team, from Andre Ward team the last fight, and vice versa. But that's the primary thing I think Andre Ward needs to prepare for with Sergio Kovalev. Also, I think he needs to, well, I mean, he's pretty good at bobbing and weaving, but I think he needs to be conscious that he might need to find a way to bob and weave a little bit more often, probably more in the later rounds, but also with keeping his hands up and keeping his guards up. I do feel that Sergio Kovalev will be going for the knockout this fight, but I feel that Andre Ward should be also going for the knockout. Doesn't mean he has to be careless, but he needs to have intentions to place one solid one that'll put him down, uh, or at least make him fall down and make a statement this round. Uh, and I think that'll put this whole episode of these two fighters in the bag if Andre Ward pulls it off, plus getting a knockout or knocking him down. Or even just taking it to a 12 round anonymous decision. But I think that he needs to dominate a little bit more earlier off and just continue that. I feel like Andre Ward is one of them fighters because he's been fighting so long. He has the stamina to go long distances. So he never slows down. He just speeds up. But that comes with years and years of training. And Andre Ward stated that in one of his interviews one time. And it's true. It's a true fact. Look at all the great fighters. If they started early and they've been doing it for so long, even if they get out of shape, it's still something there. Like they're second wind, and they can still go on throughout the fight and get stronger instead of slowing down. So I think that's what Andre Ward's side has to do to gain this victory this time, which will be even bigger than the first victory, and it will be no arguments or excuses, like he said. All right, now on Kovalev's end, I feel like Kovalev to win, he must humble himself. Reason I say that don't mean you don't need to be confident, but you must humble yourself because you're fighting a fighter that is for the lack of a better word, as elite as you are. In my eyes, a little bit more elite because he understands certain things. So the bully approach is not going to work with this man. It's just not going to work. Now, I think you do need to rely on your jab throughout the whole fight. You need to be working on your stamina this fight to be able to keep up that momentum. Also, I feel like you need to be focused more on defense instead of so much worried about offense. I don't think you need to approach with the bulldog type of offense like you did in the first fight because you're not fighting a fighter that's going to crack under pressure. You're fighting a fighter that's used to that environment. You're also fighting a fighter that sometimes use that same bulldog approach on other fighters. So Andre Ward is a universal fighter, and what I mean by that is he's very versatile. So Kovalev, yes, I feel like he needs to remain using his jab and rely on his power, of course, but just don't throw useless punches. Now, and I feel like he needs to, in a way, approach this fight similar to how Lennox Lewis approached the Mike Tyson bout. I think it need to be similar like that. It can't be exactly identical, but I feel like Sergio Kovalev should use that same type of mind state. Go watch that fight. Word of advice. And again, I'm an Andre Ward fan. I'm a fan of boxing. Yes, I'm pulling for Andre Ward. But at the end of the day, in all sports, no matter who I think is the best personally, I always want the better man to win with a fair fight and each fighter showing their best capable ability. And when things like that happen, and both fighters can be focused and just worry about fighting instead of all the other stuff like the business oriented, all everybody criticism and all that, both fighters can focus enough to just perform. So with that being said, I look forward to June 17th. Hopefully, it's a great show like the first fight. Even better, hopefully, for both fighters' sake. I hope after this, all the bad blood between them can be washed away. I hope that both fighters come out uninjured in a very serious way, but I would like to see a little bit more aggressiveness this fight from both fighters. But again, I feel like those are some of the key points that the fighters would need on both sides to try to pull a victory or come in. Or pull a victory off or remain in the fight. So I predict the fight to either be close, like number one, still leaning to Andre Ward's side, but are other cases, if one fighter come in more focused than the other, then it might be a blowout. So there you have it, fight world and fight fans. I know y'all all looking forward to the fight June 17th. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of more covers on this topic coming from some of the bigger names like Boxing Eagle, and I can't think of some of the other ones right now, but I'm pretty sure they're going to cover it, go into a little bit more detail. Looking forward to all that, the development in it, all the conference interviews of each fighter and trainers leading up to this bout. I think it's going to be good for the summer. I think it's going to be good for boxing. I mean, Andre Ward and Sergey Kovalev with these two fights and a lot of other stuff that's going on in boxing too that I'll cover later on is bringing back vintage boxing. And if you're really a boxing fan, you got to love it. So let's just keep all the negativity. You're free, entitled to your own opinion, but let's just keep all the negativity from both fighters because they're human beings like anybody else. And let's let them focus on fighting so we can get a good show, get what we paid for. You know what I mean? So good luck to both fighters, especially SOG. I'm still, still a fan of you, man. More power to you. Hope you pull it off, not only for yourself, but, for America, all the black male athletes that's trying to come up. Thanks for being a good role model to all those fighters, including myself, and continue to do what you do. Stay positive. Sergey Kovalev, good luck to you too, man. Whatever happens this time, just try to be a little bit more professional, and all the negative behavior or dialogue, save it, man. You have young kids watching this too, even some probably young kids that's watching it at your home that looks up to you and trying to reach accomplish what you accomplish. But don't confuse them thinking you got to have that same type of character about yourself to get where you're at. So I'm out, Fight World. Y'all let me know. Drop your comments below. Subscribe if you like. I'm going to keep them coming. I'm going to keep them running. And that's how we going to do it, baby. Nah, y'all have a good one. Have a blessed one. Love y'all.